And we're back with On the Record with Tiffany with the Executive Director of SAAACAM, Deborah Omowale Jarmon.
Hey.
How are you doing, Miss Deborah?
I'm doing good. Excited to be here once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work that you do with preserving our history. So this segment, last segment you talked a little bit about history and us not repeating the mistakes of our past. This time I'd like for us to talk a little bit about healthcare and healthcare disparities. As what have we seen historically, and how does that tie to today?
Well, this may have been off the air when we were getting set up, but Dr. Van Hoy shared her story about being recovering from breast cancer and the level of health care that she received versus what women of color receive. And she said she asked the doctor if she was going to die. Just thought, am I going to die? And they said, no, because you have insurance. Mm-hmm. That is certainly an aha moment. And then when you go to look at the statistics for Black females in healthcare, and it doesn't even matter if we have insurance or even the level of insurance, Black women are discounted when it comes to us being in pain. Mm-hmm.
There's junk science out there that tells people that we don't experience as much pain as our Caucasian counterparts, and that we have additional muscle mass and all kinds of other nonsensical ideas. But yes.
Well, and you know what I would contribute that to if someone said that to me? Yeah, that's because you beat my forefathers and foremothers on their backs, because we carried this country on our backs. Mm-hmm. So we are stronger than you, but we still feel pain. When you took our child away from us.
I mean, like, really?
I could go there.
That is the most ridiculous notion.
I could go there.
That's the most ridiculous notion in the world. I mean, nobody would say, well, Hulk Hogan doesn't feel pain because he's muscle bound and huge. No one would even utter such a preposterous idea.
Well, it is preposterous, but I tell you what, bring that to me, and I'll just give it right. I'll give it right back. I guess that's why I haven't heard that argument.
When I hear these things, that I have to say there are certain people that make me very, very proud of them, and one of them is Dr. Francisco Figueroa. He was honored today. Today is the 8th of September. This will play on the 10th of September, but he was honored. I guess I better get used to this stuff. He was honored earlier in the week today for his work in bringing diversity to fellows, bringing more doctors of Hispanic and Black heritage into the medical community. And he's done that over his entire career. It's not like he started doing it last week, I do it this year. I do it in 2020. Like he's been doing it.
Not the flavor of the day for him.
Yeah, it's something that he's lived his life by. And, when I see that, I'm very happy. Because there are moments when you're reading the junk science and especially especially as an African American woman. I'm the only African American woman leading a kidney organization that is as big as Texas Kidney Foundation. We have we're in the largest state for kidney disease. We have 10% of the ESRD population here. It can be tough reading this junk science and disparities, especially because I've lost 9 family members to this. So when I read that stuff and see things like adjusted EGFR based on whether or not a person is African American, I'm like, how much of that affected my family.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that, it's hard not to take offense and not to be really upset by it. So when I see the Dr. Sigaroas of the world, then that lets me know that some people are doing some things right.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see you, because historians kind of hold everybody's feet to the fire, and historians can, because if you're not sitting there, denigrating history by not reporting it accurately. When you're reporting history accurately, that is a very telling thing, and it is an eye-opening
Mm-hmm.
tool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely. And when it comes to healthcare, and you talk about disparities in healthcare, and again, I can talk from a Black female perspective. Black women have the highest mortality rate for when they're pregnant. The
mm-hmm.
highest
Mm-hmm.
percentage of pregnant mortality is with African American women. So when we talk about healthcare and the disparities and the work that you're doing at the Texas Kidney Foundation to make a difference, that is extremely important. I would say the challenge is just getting the word out, knowing that, hey, there are resources out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to support you. We
right.
understand what you have going on. And our community, in some ways, is splintered. It's not as necessarily tight as the Hispanic community in San Antonio. So we have a little bit of work to do. And I'm excited about the new program you were telling me about the lab work and the nurse visit.
Yes, we've over at Texas Kidney Foundation, we have teamed up with clinical pathology laboratories. And they've just been wonderful, because what we were trying to do, we looked at it, and I have some wonderful doctors that work that volunteer with Texas Kidney Foundation, because
Mm-hmm.
our board is all voluntary, and so they we were looking at, okay, how are we going to offer something, a stopgap for people, because we've got a lot of illness coming our way from this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19 has really revealed how sick people are, and that disease exploits the underlying conditions that people have. So we were like, okay, what's going to happen in the next 12 months, 24 months, 36 months? We need something. And so we came up with, we started looking at what does a person get when they go to get a checkup every year. What is the most important thing we use our insurance for, and that's for checkups, to see where are we health-wise, what's going on with us. And then I went and looked at a wonderful physician who does $100 visits with LabWorks, and I thought, can we do something like that, but cut the cost even further, because we need it to be so that anybody, the single mom that has no health insurance, can go and get herself taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got together with clinical pathology laboratory and got the cost down to where Texas Kidney Foundation, along with them, we can have a doctor's visit and 36 biomarkers tested in terms of lab work. So we're talking about a general labs like you would get if you went to your doctor, also a full renal panel, and your triglycerides checked for $50.
Wow.
$50.
Wow.
So Yeah.
So what do I need to do?
I know, because I was like, what we were thinking was, okay, what about people who have insurance, but they can't afford that,
Right.
what it costs for them to go and get some of these labs done. We want to make sure that people can do this. So what you need to do is contact Texas Kidney Foundation. You can go to our website, www.txkidney.org. Or you can call us 210-896-3440, or you can text us. No, I'm just kidding. Go to our website at www.txkidney.org, and you can take it from there and go into our system and fill out a few questions and get started.
Oh, that is awesome. I know for myself, so I fall into, I guess you could say, kind of the range that Dr. Van Hoy was talking about. I do have insurance, and as a retired federal employee, I have good insurance. But I'm one of those persons, when I get the statement from my insurance company, I open it and read it. And I think, those labs cost how much? And those doctor visits cost how much?
That's right.
I can't even imagine.
The lab work that we are giving would cost you, depending on where you went, from $500 to $1,200. I mean, it like clinical pathology laboratories is really, they have come through in droves for us.
That's awesome.
To make sure that our community is taken care of. Because that was really our heart song about what we were doing and what we're going to do next. Because, I think in our biggest year, Texas Kidney Foundation we screened 4,700 people, which we are the largest screener in the state of Texas. So 4,700 people is a lot of people. We outscreen all of the major national organizations, everybody. And part of that is because our group is very passionate about it. We all have a connection to chronic kidney disease. And so, but even then, I thought, we estimate that there are 4.9 million people in the state of Texas who have some form of kidney disease and don't know that they have it. It's like 1 in 3 people.
Wow.
So I was like, I want to give all 4.9 million the opportunity to figure this out.
That's awesome.
And they gave us a very good start to that. A very good start to it.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay, you all heard it. TexasKidney.org.
That's right. Yeah, and you're listening to On the Record with Tiffany. And I just want to say, if you are a family member or a friend, whoever you know that has been diagnosed with diabetes, hypertension, or has cardiovascular disease or a history of chronic kidney disease in your family, come out, let us test you. We have some free testing also that can, at the minimum, tell you what stage of kidney disease you're at. And then you can go further to have a full health screening so you can see how you're doing. Get a baseline for yourself. And we will follow you. We will follow you and track you and help you figure out what your kidney, if you have diminished kidney capacity, track it. We'll help you track it.
Wow, that's awesome.
So you're listening to On the Record with Tiffany, and we will be back. Come on back, grab yourself a drink, and come on back so you can hear more about what we can do and how you can come to our fun pop-up event. And we're back with On the Record with Tiffany, and I am with one of my favorite people, the executive director of SAAACAM, Mrs. Deborah Omowale Jarmon.
Hey, hi everyone.
I can't leave Joe off.
No, and he's such a sweetie. When I came home and I told him about the Blacks in Barrio project that in the Barrio project that Dr. Van Hoy spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, honey, do you want to be interviewed? And he just smiled because he has so much history growing up on the West Side, and but he's so easygoing.
But he's a part of San Antonio history with his with all the service he's given to this city.
He has 37 years as a San Antonio firefighter, but he's got that type A personality, but he would know that you really didn't leave him out. He'd be okay with that.
You can't forget him. He's like, bigger than life kind of personality. So he takes over a room. I like him.
He does. He definitely does that. So breaking barriers.
Yes. Now I love breaking barriers. I think that the kidney community here in San Antonio is leading the nation in terms of being barrier breakers, and they especially are right now when we're dealing with something that is overwhelming, like this pandemic and what it's doing to kidney disease. But I want to hear about your barrier breakers.
Well, so first of all, I want to thank you so much for even thinking about SAAACAM and bringing us to the table, because this just really took a life of its own, and we're able to focus on breaking barriers, which at the time they were called Negro, the black baseball players, the Negro baseball players did, and just trying to have fun. They didn't really realize that they were making history at that time, and it was such a pleasure to be able to celebrate them through our exhibit that we have at the airport. It's still there. I've been there, and it was so proud to walk by it. And also the exhibit that we had earlier at the Pittman Sullivan Park. So just very easy going, easy to research. The information is there, but certainly being able to talk to families and take pictures and get their history. What an amazing thing to add to our archives, right? For really being able to capture how do you break barriers and what's the result of that.
And you've taken this exhibit to another level, Deborah, because Deborah has created how many QR codes for this?
So, when I told them that there is, on the exhibit brochure, there are, I believe, 6 different QR codes.
Yep.
And therefore, one, so you can access the digital exhibit easily. I don't know why I cannot say that word. I need to slow down. Digital.
So she has the physical exhibit. She has the pop-up exhibit,
right,
which they did earlier today, and she has you tell them, because you have something for everybody.
So it's the digital exhibit that you can see on your phone. It looks great on your mobile device, or you can look at it on your computer. We also have lessons that are called Breaking Barriers that will help your students, grades 4 through 8, do creative writing, will also help with social studies and character development. And there's a plethora of different lessons you can choose from with things you can print for your student. We also have an activity sheet with a little brief history. It's called Do I Belong? And it's for pre-K up through about 2nd grade. And we have a reading list, a summer reading list. Well, okay, summer's over, so not just a summer reading list, but a reading list that talks about baseball, and not just the history of baseball, but if you have a student that has any interest in baseball, it's there, from Sports Illustrated to the segregation and then the desegregation of baseball.
Wow.
So all of that is available on a QR code. You just hold your phone to it and it'll just open up for you.
The QR code, I love it. And I love the barrier breakers, because now, okay, kidney community, listen, because barrier breakers is why we got involved with this. We actually met up with Bill, and I was saying I want to do something special for the kidney community. I feel like our guys are barrier breakers, and can we do something special? And he came up with the idea of working with the Negro Baseball League, and then SAAACAM. And when you all came in, that's when it took on a life of its own. And Greg Garrett did a great job of research, and his the actual exhibit that we did with them was not called Barrier Breakers. It was Invisible Diamond. And Greg had been working on Invisible Diamond for like 5 years prior to us picking it up and running with it. So Invisible Diamond isn't something that just was slapped together. That's a 5-year endeavor.
Absolutely.
That really needed to be told. A story that was well put together and should be told. And I love history, but I'm not a historian. So it was wonderful to have great minds and leaders take control of this and really create something that we can all be proud of.
Well, we're super excited, and we want to just also give our hats off. You mentioned Bill. So the rest of his name, just for the listeners, Bill Garrett. He's the assistant manager of the San Antonio Missions baseball team.
I'm sorry, I forgot the rest of your name.
That's okay.
I'm always calling you up. Hey, Bill.
Exactly. and he is just that kind of guy. So thanks to them, the missions, they provided hot dogs and popcorn and sodas for free out there today. We had the St. Mary's students that are able to interact and make a presentation on their research that they've done.
It's really a community. I mean, you have a way of connecting people too, Deborah. You always say, I'm a connector. You're a connector.
You connect
of people too. Because this is like showing what our community is about.
Yes.
And how tolerant, loving, and accepting our community is. This event definitely is a testament to that.
One of the things I'm going to go back to how, we didn't meet. We met at an NAACP, the Freedom Dinner. But then just a couple months later was Dream Week. And one of the wonderful things about Dream Week, and this is kind of a juxtaposition with our community, that there are people in San Antonio that want to learn about each other. There are people in San Antonio that want to know the entire story. They don't want the whitewashed version anymore. There are people in San Antonio that want to embrace other people, other cultures, learn about other people. And this event is proof of that. So we have St. Mary's, which is a university that all of their public history projects have been based on the West Side and with Mexican American and Hispanic studies. They're coming together to be a part of this. When you look again at the Texas Kidney Foundation, you look at the University of Texas San Antonio Institute of Texan Cultures.
That's everybody.
Yeah,
that's us like pulling
the
whole city and all the different ethnic groups, every corner of our little city. Because it feels like San Antonio always feels like small town America.
It's a small town. It is. They talk about 6 degrees, 7 degrees of separation, something like that. In San Antonio, maybe it's 3.
I know, right? It feels like you're always with your neighbors and your friends. It's a place where having a real dialogue can occur.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this event work. That is what makes, I think, the MLK March work. That's what makes Dream Week work. I think our challenge is to keep those conversations going. Right. To keep the history alive.
keep the conversations going, keep them productive. You know, we've got to be solution based.
Oh my gosh!
And
don't bring me a problem if you don't have some sense of a solution.
Exactly. Like there is no point in hashing out a problem when your goal is not to get to a solution.
Yes.
I don't want to sit there and just complain.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to go for what are our next steps. Let's put those into place and let's start moving down that road.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's events like this where, you know, when we look at the Negro Baseball League, what were the next steps? Oh yeah, integration into Major League Baseball.
Leagues, absolutely.
And that happened. And our next steps for all of the things that we are putting into motion now can happen and will happen if you get to the table.
Yeah.
If you bring other people in. It can't be only black people, only Mexican people. It has to be what this event was today. Everybody pulling together. People from all walks of life and different ideology talking and deciding, hey, I can compromise here, I can compromise there. We're going to get to the solution.
Absolutely.
And Deborah Jarmon, thank you for coming in and talking with us.
You're welcome.
You have been on the record with Tiffany. This won't be your last time because you know I love history, so I have to have my favorite historian here. I know you're the leader of historians. My job is not to be the smartest person in the room, but to be the person that can connect all of the people that need to be connected, and that's you, Deborah Jarmon. You do that better than anybody else that I know, and today's event was testament to that. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And you've been listening to On the Record with Tiffany. I want you to check out your kidneys. If you need to get a free health screening, all you have to do is go to www.txkidney.org and we can help you out.
Woo-hoo.
Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you next week.